Today I am going to teach you second chapter of literature, Pride and Prejudice. Actually, your chapter is an extract taken from the novel Pride and Prejudice written by Jane Austen. Novel Pride and Prejudice set in rural England in 19th century. It is written in Romantic age. Your chapter Pride and Prejudice mainly focus on Bennet family. So let's have a look on all the major characters in the chapter. In the Bennet family, first we have Mr. and Mrs. Bennet, who is very desperate to get her 5 daughters married as soon as possible. They have 5 daughters. Jane Bennet, she is the eldest daughter. She is very beautiful and understanding nature. Elizabeth, actually she is female protagonist of the chapter. Mary Bennet, she used to study books and she is very mindful. Kitty. Lydia Bennet, she is shallow and superficial nature. Charles Bingley, who purchased house in Netherfield. Next, 2 sisters of Charles Bingley. Darcy, he is friend of Mr. Bingley and he was very arrogant and having great pride in him. The chapter started with the arrival of Mr. Bingley in the neighbor of Bennet family. Mr. Bingley, who is very handsome and wealthy man. Mrs. Bennet wanted to marry one of her daughter to Mr. Bingley. One day Jane Bennet, the eldest daughter of Mrs. Bennet, was called in the house of Mr. Bingley. Knowing this, Mrs. Bennet became very happy and knowingly sent her daughter in a bad weather to the house of Mr. Bingley. When Jane reached to the house of Mr. Bingley, she got ill there because of cold weather, and she was told there to stay for some more days, as Mrs. Bennet wanted. Mrs. Bennet became very happy knowing that she would be there for 1 week. But her second daughter, Elizabeth, was concerned for her sister and went to Mr. Bingley house in spite of the disapproval of her mother. She was also told to stay there till her sister was there. Meanwhile, Mr. Darcy, who was also a wealthy man, started attracted towards the charm and wit of Elizabeth. But somewhere he always pride of his class. Elizabeth was knowing of his reality and developed a strong prejudice against him. In this way, there were always arguments between them. They always teasing and fighting with each other. This is all about your chapter. I hope you all have understood.